Hi there, this is Sam with Bulldog Rooter. Today's date is December 19th, 2016. I'm doing a video inspection of 1660 South Maple Boulevard in Spokane, Washington. We're just doing this to make sure that everything's going okay with the pipe, check its condition, and I'm going to do that today. So what we're looking at is the end of the sewer line where this connects to the street, and this goes out to South Maple Boulevard. What we're looking at is, we're in 6-inch clay tile right now. And here's right where it drops off into the city sewer. The tile itself looks like it was in really good condition. It looks like you have a little bit of settling in this section. The good news is, water is flowing through this right now just fine. It's not really obstructing any water flow. And, you can see that the separation itself is just kind of right at the top of the pipe. As long as you don't throw anything crazy down there, realistically that shouldn't cause you any issues. Keep going back here. Excuse me, I said it was 6-inch tile. This is 4-inch tile right here. It drops into 6-inch tile, which is the city sewer in the street. So you can see there's at this seam right here, what will happen is that these sections of pipe, these clay tile pipes, we usually put in 2 to 5 foot sections, and they'll start to settle in the ground over time. This is sort of settled. It's another very minor separation. I don't really see any issues with this other than the fact that there's a little bit of root growth coming in those kind of the top of the pipe. But that, honestly, those are very, very tiny, minuscule roots. As far as the tile goes, like I was saying before, it looks like it's in really good condition. I mean, right there's pretty much a perfect connection. Tile usually lasts pretty long too. It's definitely not a bad pipe. Seawater is definitely flowing down this thing just fine. It's not really getting stopped up on anything in the tile. That's a way of knowing that everything is flowing downhill, which is definitely what you want. We're just about to pass another little connection there. That one looks just about perfect. So, right here, the line itself I think was about 80 feet long. We switched from tile, or 4-inch tile, to 4-inch Orangeburg pipe. Orangeburg is a compressed wood pulp and tar paper sewer pipe in layers. So essentially these layers over time will start to kind of bulb up and rip, and that's what we're kind of looking at. You can see all this kind of white debris that's just part of the pipe. It's really rough edges. It looks like it's just started to bulb up and kind of crack in some spots. As far as the Orangeburg goes itself, I've seen a lot worse. You'll actually see like these giant blisters in the pipe that will really stop the flow of water, and any solids rush down the line essentially will get caught in these spots and create blockages that have to be cleared out mechanically. So you can see up kind of at the top of the pipe right there, it'd be the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. There's some little black marks. Those are cracks in the pipe. Overall, kind of what I'm seeing right now is the pipe, the bottom of this pipe is actually the top part of the screen, is just kind of troughed out, essentially. The water is just kind of flowing right through that one spot. You can see some more cracks as we pull back. You can see how the bottom of the pipe is kind of rough. Those are the bulbs I'm talking about, but these bulbs are very, very small. It just kind of makes the whole bottom of the pipe just rough, essentially. See that it kind of makes it hold little puddles of water in places and whatnot, but yeah. Honestly, this Orangeburg does not look to be in too bad condition. It's cracking in places, yes. I think the best thing for this Orangeburg would probably just to be pipe bursted. Realistically, that's probably something they could do. It's just trenchless piping. Kind of get rid of it before it starts to get any worse. So far, there's not too many issues, other than the fact that, it's Orangeburg. It's definitely kind of troughed off in this section. I don't see any holes in the line, which is something you definitely find in Orangeburg. Essentially, what happens with this pipe over time is that once those layers I was talking about start to get older and dry out, they start to raise up, catch stuff and whatnot, and that's when you kind of run into issues. It'll start to blister, and then it'll start to crack, and then it'll start to ovalize, meaning the pipe is actually kind of squishing down, and then it'll eventually collapse. See some more cracks there. The whole bottom of the pipe is just rough. Obviously, water is flowing down this. See some more cracks again. So right here, you can see just like a little bit of ovalization kind of starting in this area. How it's not necessarily a circle of that connection right there. Some more cracks as well. Kind of going over some rough spots right here. If you look to kind of the left part of the screen, you see how rough it is and how it's just kind of bobbing up and down. Those are kind of the bulbs that I was talking about. And realistically, those can cause some issue. These ones still don't look too terrible. As far as Orangeburg goes, this is definitely one of the better lines I've seen. So we're in about 20 feet here. Realistically, we should be popping into the cast iron inside the house pretty shortly. Most of this pipe is just kind of cracks with rough on the bottom. Overall condition of the Orangeburg really isn't that bad, but I would suggest replacing it whenever possible while it's still in good condition. It might be a little bit cheaper and easier. So right there we switched from Orangeburg to 4-inch cast iron, which is inside the house. Actually, sorry, scratch that real fast. We're still at Orangeburg. Right here, we turn it to cast iron. So there's the Orangeburg, and then we switch to the cast iron, and then we should be coming out of our clean out fairly shortly. This is where the stuff's kind of leaving the house and whatnot. See that a toilet ties in right there. That's where their main stack is, so most of the stuff in their house is going to be draining off into that section. Would fall down that hole of the pipe and then go out the sewer line. And here we are pulling out of the clean out, and we are in the basement. It's a picture of the clean out right there. And once again, that was Sam with Bulldog Rooter. That was your video inspection. Thank you.